Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's Diego with another fantastic video for you guys out there in K1 visa green card land. Remember, it's not legal advice. I don't work for USCIS and I am not an immigration attorney. But this video is about the USCIS recent announcement of interim final rules to require electronic filing for certain immigration forms. Now, USCIS mandates online filing for selected forms. They announced this on August 11th, 2026. Okay, so pay attention, class. I'm not an advocate of online filing. I don't think they have all the bugs pulled out of them yet, but be prepared when USCIS are going to start making it mandatory. Although I don't like doing online filing. Honestly, I prefer to do the old paper way. They're saying they want to improve the security of the documents and speed up the process. I just don't know. If you are not able to get access to a computer, there's going to be a hardship waiver, which is going to be costing $25. Now, effective on August 11th, 2026, USCIS will begin the process of transitioning to mandatory online filing for selected immigration forms. Now, I don't know exactly what forms they're going to be, but be ready for it. The rule is requiring that forms be available digitally for 180 days and will require a 60-day public notice before immigration starts to enforce this. Okay? So the USCIS, the agency, they intend for this digital shift to improve fraud detection and to reduce processing backlogs. A new hardship waiver, like I mentioned, Form I-936, Form I-936 is going to be available for those folks with limited technology access. Now, U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services announced an interim final ruling on Monday, and today is what? Wednesday. Okay. This allows the agency to require online submission for selected immigration forms, but it has not yet identified which forms will be the first to face this mandatory mandate. The USCIS announcement sets two conditions before the agency can require online filing for an individual form. The form must have been available for voluntary online submission for at least 180 days, and USCIS must post at least 60 days advance notice before this mandatory requirement begins. So you're going to get plenty of notice and plenty of time to figure this out. Now, the paper filing does not end for every form immediately. Make sure you understand that. The agency will designate forms separately. What those forms are, I don't know yet, but I'll give you my guaranteed guest list at the end of this video. Now, USCIS said this shift will reduce reliance on the U.S. Department of the Treasury's physical lockbox services and speed the move to electronic fee payments, which is going to be using Form G1650. The agency also linked digital submission to fraud detection, identity management, and national security screening. It's all going to boil down to national security speeding and making life easier for the folks at USCIS to process your green cards, etc., K1 visas. Now, the agency's announcement did not provide a final list of forms that will become mandatory online. These forms that have already been available online for more than 180 days are probably the ones that are going to be turned into mandatory online filing, like the N400, for example, for U.S. citizenship. Now, and the I-751 for lifting conditions. The potential early group includes applications for green cards, U.S. citizenship, work authorization, asylum, and of course several family and employment-based benefits. Just my opinion right now. Now, I know for a fact probably that Form I-90 is going to be mandatory online, which is the application to replace permanent residency card, green card. I'm pretty sure Form N400 is going to be mandatory online, the application for U.S. citizenship or naturalization. Form I-130, the petition for alien relatives, like if you're going through a spousal visa. Form I-765, which is the application for employment authorization, your work permit, your EAD document. I'm sure that's going to be mandatory for online filing. And I'm pretty sure also that USCIS Form I-485, the application to register permanent residence or adjust status, that's going to become mandatory online. But right now, my recommendation is to continue filing with the paper version. Also, I've got no doubt in my mind that Form I-751, the petition to remove conditions on residence, will become a mandatory online filing, and Form N-600, like I mentioned, the application for certificate of U.S. citizenship. The list I mentioned is not giving an immediate mandate for mandatory online filing, and each form is going to require its own website notice at least 60 days before a compulsory online date. So you're going to get at least 2 months notice. Now, people who are required to submit a designated form online will need a free, gratis USCIS online account. And the account would allow the applicant to complete the application and pay the filing fee electronically. So they're going to an online process. The agency also created Form I-936, like I mentioned, which is a request for a waiver for e-filing requirements. And that's going to be for folks who cannot reasonably use the online system. And this is going to carry a $25 filing fee as of this month, August 2026. So if you want to get a waiver from this mandatory online processing fee, you must show undue hardship, and that could include a geographic isolation, limited access to technology, or particular socioeconomic conditions. But be advised, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, a lack of familiarity, if you don't know how to use a freaking computer with online filing, generally this will not qualify for the waiver itself. USCIS will assess the hardship described in the waiver request. So if you need a waiver, immigration will review the waiver, and if you say you don't know how to use a computer, forget it. You're not going to get a waiver for that excuse. Now, applicants should monitor the USCIS online account and filing page for form-specific notices before sending a paper application. A required online form would not become mandatory unless or until USCIS provides the announced advance notice, which they haven't done yet. So my advice would be to continue using paper filing until they make it mandatory. USCIS said its online system can prevent users from submitting incomplete forms or incorrect fees, and the agency characterized that function as reducing the time tax associated with corrections and paper processing. So they're going to force you to do it online, which will, in their mind, eliminate all errors. Digital records can also be searched and cross-referenced more easily, and the Department of Homeland Security is saying this, right? And that capability is intended to help identify suspicious patterns and support the fraud detection process to stop green card fraud. And the public comment period will continue after the rule's effective date. And comments from, us public, Joe Public, will remain open until October 13th, 2026. So on October 13th, 2026, they're going to close public comments, and then they're going to make decisions on what to do. Now, this USCIS August 10th news release describes the national security rationale and the transition away from physical lockboxes. And the Federal Register interim rule contains the rule taking effect on August 11th. So, applicants, beneficiaries, American citizen sponsors, you should check the agency's website, that's USCIS, before filing, because the first designated forms, notice dates, and online requirements are going to change, no doubt. They probably will. And processing times and filing fees are subject to change, which they probably will. And you must be verifying current information at uscis.gov. Okay, that's the website, uscis.gov. Now, people who are subject to a future mandate will need a USCIS online account. a USCIS online account. Now, depending on what USCIS makes available for this particular benefit request, a filer may be able to, via online account, complete the entire form. So everything can be done through guided online filings, or you can upload a completed PDF form and with your supporting evidence through the online account. So be prepared, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, for USCIS going totally online. Now, both methods of processing an application qualify as electronic filing under the new regulatory framework, whether it's online or with a PDF upload. Now, this distinction is going to matter for people who are accustomed to building large paper packages, like myself for my beautiful wife Karina from Venezuela. Moving online does not eliminate the need for supporting documentation. I had 15 pounds of it. Evidence will still need to be organized, uploaded correctly, and connected to the eligibility requirements of the particular case or benefit that you are applying for. Our 10-year green card application was 15, almost 16 pounds in weight. USCIS currently offers an e-filing for 22 forms that have been available electronically for at least 180 days. Now, under this new rule, USCIS now has the authority to make some or all of these forms mandatory for e-filing, but they haven't done that yet. Now, the form AR11, the alien change of address card, can be mandatory online possibly. The G28 notice of entry of appearance as an attorney or accredited representative. The G325R, which is the biographic information, registration. The G639, the Freedom of Information Privacy Act, which is your online FOIA request, Freedom of Information Act, FOIA. The I-90, which is the application to replace permanent residency card. You lost your freaking green card, you want to get a new one. Or you're replacing your 10-year green card. The I-129 petition for a non-immigrant worker. The I-130, which is a petition for an alien relative. The I-131, which is the application for travel, which I don't recommend you do that, or I don't recommend you travel overseas, which is your parole documents, and arrival and departure records are going to be online. The I-140, immigrant petition for alien workers. The I-539, which is the application to extend, change non-immigrant status. There's the I-589, which is an application for asylum and for withholding of removal. Of the I-751 petition to remove conditions on residency. And there's the I-765, the application for employment, which you already know. And the I-821, which is the application for TPS, which is temporary protected status. Then there's form I-821D, which is the consideration of deferred action for childhood arrivals, the DACA, our DACA friends. There's form I-907, request for premium processing, which doesn't apply to K-1 visas. Then there's the I-912, the request for a waiver fee. There's form N-336, request for a hearing on a decision of naturalization, proceedings under section 336 of the Immigration and Nationality Act. And there's the N-400, application for naturalization. And then there's the N-565, application to replace a naturalization certificate or document. No doubt, if you lose your naturalization paperwork, you can apply online. That's going to be part of this new deal. And there's the form N-600, the application, to replace a naturalization certificate, etc. So be prepared. I just went through a whole gamut of forms. Most of those probably don't apply to K-1 visa applicants or 2-year and 10-year green card applicants. But be prepared, ladies and gentlemen. By October, November, December of 2026, somewhere in there, if you're gonna apply for a K-1 visa or a 2-year green card or a 10-year green card, lifting conditions, or if you have a 10-year green card and you need to renew it, or if you're applying for U.S. citizenship, all this is going to become mandatory online filing, probably by the beginning of January 2027, towards the end of 2026. Thanks for watching the video, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and don't forget I do a live stream on Wednesdays and Saturdays at 6 p.m. Central. If you want to stop by and ask me any question that you want without having to call immigration, without having to hire an immigration attorney, I can do it for you right away. I can answer your questions right away. And if you want to become a member of the channel, you can be a member of this channel down here. You can join as a member. You can find my phone number and email address in the members only videos. Once you find my phone number and email address, give me a call if you want, send me a text message, and I will help you through this green card K1 visa process personally. See you at the next live stream, and thanks for watching the video.